One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Today's just on about 200 kilometres. We're going to head back down, back alongside the lake and back down to the chai stop that we had at the bottom, and then we're going to hang a right. We'll have that junction marked, a little bit of off-road, then we've got a check post, and then we had a really beautiful bit of road for probably about 100 kilometres, and it runs alongside the Indus River. It really is a beautiful ride. Quite a few passes. Some bits of the road, there's quite a lot of army activity, a few army trucks there, so just be careful in some of these tight bends. Then we head to a place called Upshi. There's a check post there as well. Then we've got a straight run into Leh. From Upshi to Leh is 50 kilometres and it's wide highway, so we'll probably do that in about an hour. And as soon as we hit Leh, guys, we'll stop and fuel, okay? And then we'll just do a procession into the hotel.
Well, I got into biking when I was 4 years old. My dad gave me my first bike. It was a Yamaha PW50. That's when I first started riding. My dad's been riding all his life. That's how I got so passionate about it. And my mom seems to be pretty okay with it, pretty supportive. I started, as I told you, riding bikes at 4, started racing motorcycles at the age of 15. I started racing motocross. Then I have been switching back and forth with all the riding styles. I've been doing enduro, supermoto. Lately I've been doing some rally racing. I've been doing pretty good at it. Well, the Himalayan, the Enduro Himalaya thing, it was in a magazine, a British magazine, I believe it was Ride magazine. And the first thing I opened the magazine, on the first page, there was this big ad, this beautiful motorcycle ad of a guy on one of these beautiful mountains on a Royal Enfield. And I said, I gotta do this thing. I gotta do this thing. So I went online and signed up. I signed up a year ago. The trip, it has completely fulfilled my expectations. I would say that I got my money's worth by the third day. It has been incredible. The scenery has been breathtaking. I don't know if it's the scenery or if it's the altitude. It has been beautiful. The mountains, the riding. I was expecting a little bit more off-road, but it has been awesome. The bikes were a little bit difficult at the beginning, but they have completely fulfilled my expectations. They have been fun to ride, they have been technical, it has been great, and the guys I've met in this trip are incredible. They're number one. I would probably think about doing 2 different trips with the guys at Global Enduro. The one thing that I'm looking for is the great organization they have behind the trip. It's not that just the riding, is what the background in every trip. So I'd probably be thinking about doing Cambodia and the Arctic Enduro. And probably later that new Africa one they have, the Dumatar, the Roaring Dragon trip. Yes, definitely. I'm definitely going to be looking for more adventure trips now since I've done this. I've toured Colombia a couple of times in some adventure rides, but I'm definitely going to be doing more of this, more adventure riding. I'm going to be telling all my friends, all my family. I've got, you know, that I got this travel blog and I write for a Colombian magazine back at home. I'm going to try to show this experience to everyone and share this experience to everyone. Well, it had definitely changed me because I definitely gonna enjoy life more. I'm gonna do this more, this kind of trips more, this kind of adventures. They fulfill you. This is what life is all about. Doing what you like, working for it, yeah, but doing what you like. This is it. Enjoying your life. So what I'm gonna do when I get back, I'm gonna probably work harder for a year, so get the money to do the trip next year. That's probably my goals.
You know, I want to do a bit of soul searching. What is life all about? What is the point? Where are we going? What's the next step? And to be honest, yes, I am beginning to feel it. You know, there is other things in life than sticking the car in the garage or whatever. You know, it ain't all about money, to be honest. You know, yes, I'm very, very lucky. I'm very fortunate, but you know, it makes you reflect. You just can't put words to it. You know, it is a soul-searching adventure. Everybody is going to be different. You know, what we want to get out of it, we get out of it. I'm not looking for anything as such, but it's more the feeling, and I think the two are separate. We can all see things, but what you feel is a different thing. What comes from the heart or comes from the mind. Money ain't everything. You know, no matter where you are in life, you could come here and you're rich. But it's a richness of life. That's the biggest thing. You could have £1 million. That's irrelevant. It doesn't matter out here. They've absolutely got nothing, but they've got the world, haven't they? You know, sometimes you can give somebody a computer game, you know, PS whatever or iPod or whatever, you know. I mean, I suppose, you know, I look back from when I was being a kid and, you know, it was all about, you know, you put your T-shirt down and you have a game of football. And that's your goal net. And I think today, they're expecting the goal net. That's the only reality I can really put to it. The society today back in the UK or back in the modern world, it's all there for them. And you still get them sitting on the street corner. I'm bored, you know. And when I was a kid, you had to make everything happen. You had to think for it. You had to go and climb that mountain or whatever, climb that tree, you know, make the swing. Now the swing's there. And it's that side, you know, we expect too much in the modern world. We expect it to be put there in front of us. Where here, like, as I say, going back a few years, it wasn't this bad, but you know what I mean? You had to live to do it, and it's just, sometimes I'd love to bring the kids out here and just say, look, you know, they're happy, why aren't you?
Come along this valley and it's just been beautiful sunshine since we left Somorori, but I'm just looking up there, the snow is just starting to close in and it's getting very cold, so I'm going to get some chai and see if that does the job.
Bandit bum! It's the vibrations. We're just sitting there. Oh.
Beeping round the bends and nothing beeping back, and you get round the bend and there's a lorry or a bus, but nothing too drastic. You get used to it.
Yeah, we've just arrived in Leh. We've just travelled today from Lake Somorori. We've just arrived in Leh. It's been raining actually. It's the first time I've seen it rain here ever. There was rain a couple of years back, but first time I've ever been here when it's raining. We've just pulled up to get some fuel, and Leh is about another 6 or 7 kilometres from here, and we'll be spending the night in Leh, and we've got a rest day tomorrow.
The first part of it was quite easy, I think, back on the tarmac. And then it was a long, grueling ride through the valley by the river. And then I got tighter and tighter as the day got on. And then as we came into towards Leh, it was a big, nice tarmac road, and it was just enough to get me here. But long day, very tiring.
Scenery is unbelievable, especially as the sun was getting lower and the reflection on the mountains and from the lake is absolutely superb. Yeah, excellent.
This morning, we were having breakfast, right? This was it was. Alex was at this. Alex was at the table. He was at the table. You were at the table. Who else was at the table? Vijay was at the table, and we saw Jim sitting with a bowl of porridge and a bowl of ketchup on his side, and he's pouring ketchup all over his porridge, thinking it was jam. He was thinking it was jam. I'm looking at him, and I told Paul, is he pouring ketchup on his porridge? And he just goes for the first spoon, huge spoon.
Daniel's thinking it's an English tradition.
He did. Yeah, I thought it was an English tradition, so I didn't say anything. And he goes for the first spoon. And he looks at the ketchup thinking, this is wrong.
We're going to head up from here up to the highest motorable road in the world, a place called Cardung La, 5,600 metres. It's actually only 25 kilometres from here, and we're at just on 3,000 at the moment. So over 25 kilometres, we're going to climb 2,600. So yeah, it's really spectacular. We're going up over this direction, and you're able to look down and see Leh. It looks absolutely tiny.
Okay, here we are. Blood, Sweat and Gears has made it to the roof of the world. This is the highest point you can go with a motor vehicle, 18,830 feet. And I can't begin to tell you how little oxygen there is here. We've been having altitude sickness tablets, but even just climbing up this little bit just from down there, it certainly makes you out of breath. And of course, all behind me we've got these prayer flags, and of course the riders, an incredible that the riders have had a really bumpy ride all the way up here. A fantastic achievement for the guys on those Royal Enfields. They've really fought these machines up here. Of course, we're going down into the valley now. We'll be camping overnight, actually in one of the highest war zones, which would be fun. But it's an amazing feeling. This is the pinnacle of the trip, really. We cannot go any higher on a motor vehicle. I'm just going to ask Sam, just because we have all these prayer flags here. Sam, can you explain to us what all these flags mean and what the different colours mean?
Colours is just the colours of life. You see, it's all written in there, and they have put up all these marks. Those are supposed to be the part of Buddhist culture, and all these are prayer written in, and their belief is when they are going to fly with the air, those prayers are going to go spread all over the world. So it's just for the well-being of humanity.
And that is why they fly them so high? just so that they can reach all across
Yes,
the world?
of course. I mean, they want to fly them, on top of the world, everywhere, from where message can pass across in the air. Here is,
Plaque up for a friend of mine named Stephen Brown, and I want to get it up the top where not many people go, and just leave it there for him, because it's a peaceful place, nice place. It's an adventure to get up here, so you'd appreciate that, both sides of it.
Down there I could feel myself, your judgment and stuff goes a bit haywire, because you're looking for a bit of air and the road is just, God, it's hell, it's rough. When you get up to the top here, you're just like right on top of the world with this, the spirit up here. You felt the people having such a blast, It's like, he was trying to chat some girl up, I shouted his name and got him right in the with a snowball. I had that one opportunity, he hates me for it.
Actually, surprisingly good. A little out of breath. I was going to take it slowly, and as I was coming up I was feeling quite good, so I gave it a bit of a go, but I'm diamoxed up to the eyeballs, so I had to stop about 3 times to have a wee, but fantastic ride. Love it, man. It was good. It's good.
Elated, fantastic. I'm really pleased I got here. A sense of achievement. Really nice.
Piece of cake. Was the easiest ride of the whole trip. Yeah, it was a piece of cake. I'm not short of breath. I just went up to the monastery. I got butt naked up there. You should see. I'm gonna give you the footage. You should enjoy it. It's the easiest part of the trip. No shortness of breath. Raj, what are you talking about? This is easy. I want my money back. They said it was gonna be the most difficult part. I want my money back. Okay.
Good try walking down. It's going to be difficult. I think you could try walking down or push the bike down rather.
Yeah.
Or push it up while coming up tomorrow.
This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a race from here down. No engine, no brakes.
Yep.
Got it?
Got it.
See you guys down.
The part up and down the mountain was amazing. Tarmac beat was a little monotonous, but still fun. I got so much energy, I didn't really know what to do with it today. I think we should all be properly medicated.
It's been quite humbling. It's luckily, once we got out the major cities in the taxi, I don't think that we've seen quite the poverty that we saw in Mumbai. But just to see how people can live just so simply, and actually they all seem happy. You certainly start to readdress your values, and you wonder whether we've got it completely right with our material world in the Western Hemisphere, that you just think actually it doesn't need to be quite that way. There is other things to life, not just material objects.
There's something that you hear quite a lot in Europe about India, that it's the fastest growing country in the world. I don't say that. I don't think I've seen that at all. The last, 10 days we've been here? Makes me feel a little horrible as a Westerner, the way because we abuse these people to get all the luxuries back home. I'm not saying I'm the best humanitarian, but I think I will come out a better person out of this. Now I understand some things better. Because when you hear stories, obviously, it's just rumors and somebody else's view, not your own. I like being here. I like having been on the last 10 days, we don't have any cell phone reception, no internet, just the roof over our head and, 2 wheels under our scrotum.
My wife Susie is a very forgiving person, I think. I think our life together as two people anyway has been challenging. I don't mean that the way we are, but I think life is a challenge, isn't it, for a lot of couples, you know, and it has been challenging, and we've always pushed things generally quite forward, you know, quite forward-thinking people. For me to do this, Susie thinks that it's something that I'll probably need to do and get out of my system and just go do it. So I had her support 100%. Needless to say, she sat there biting her fingernails and just thinking, will I see him again, you know? And what can you say? And there's times on this trip when I thought, well, will I see me again? Never mind, you know, my wife and kids. There's been some quite hairy, close times, you know. The key thing that I would take home from this trip back into everyday life, that, as we know it, of mortgages and, you know, families and education and life and jobs and all of the stuff and healthcare that we all live in the UK. I think for me, there will be a reality check attached to that. And I think that will be the biggest thing. In other words, there will be a reality check in the terms of, is it really important? How high up the pecking order are those kind of things that are really, really important, or are they not important? I don't know. Yeah. And I think that I will now be able to prioritise better in life because of this trip, without a doubt. And I think there's been a clarity there, certainly. And I'm very grateful for that. You know, I mean, you need. It's funny how you need to get off the planet to really understand the planet that you live on. Yeah. And I think that this trip is very much about getting off the planet that you know, seeing something from a different perspective, pushing yourself to extremes that you've never experienced before, and becoming something very different at the end of it, maybe more assured. Yeah.
Spiritual, incredibly demanding, physical. I think, you know, you have got to be fairly fit to go through the heat and the cold and everything that you do from that. And just constantly changing. You just don't know what's around the next corner, what's the next day holds, or anything. It just changes so fast, and that's what makes it all the more interesting. You just cannot anticipate what's going to happen.
We're going to head back today, guys, to Leh, back the way we came, but we're not going to have many stops today. We'll just do a run from here to the checkpost, which is a place called North Pulu. We're not going to stop at the top at Kurdungla, okay, because we did it yesterday. We'll just get right over and we'll stop at the bottom. Then we'll head down to Leh. We'll do a regroup just before Leh, and then we'll take the bikes in and we'll fuel them, okay? Everybody needs to fuel, and the money you paid last night is for the fuel that will fuel in Sarchu and take us on to Manali.
It's a tricky day because we had an immense amount of traffic on the mountain. It was truck after truck after truck, all belching the most foul-smelling stuff ever. So I was just sucking diesel fumes all day.
Extremely hard. I had a blast yesterday going up to that pass, but today was really hard. I don't know if it was the time or what was it, but there was tons and tons and tons of traffic, especially trucks. I don't know what kind of diesel they're putting in here, but it was hard to breathe, and it was extremely cold, and it was snowing. It was hard. Probably the hardest day of riding I've ever had.
I'll just say that again, guys. 255 kilometres.
Which in Royal Enfield means 500.
Yeah,
Piece of cake, lads.
To be honest with you guys, we're going to go back part of the way that we came. We're going to go back to a place called Upshi. And the road that we came in from Sumaruri, we're actually going to hang to the right. Yeah. Give it up.
It was incredible. The scenery going up was amazing. The roads were good. Just a little bit of off-road getting to the top, and all off-road getting from the top down to here. But it was good. Good off-road, easy, quick, easy to do. Let's see what goes next from here.
Well guys, last day. Yeah. -5 last night, frozen water. Fantastic. It's not over until the bike's in the side stand and the engine's switched off. Do not relax for one moment today. It's not over, guys. We've got 220 kilometres to go. And we're going back over the Rotang Pass. Most people just do it once. We're doing it twice. You have to be extra careful. And be extra careful, guys, coming down from the Rotang Pass.
Well, the whole trip was an incredible experience. The scenery, the friends that I've made here, everything, the guides, everything has been such a great experience. I don't think I'm going to be asking for the refund. I was asking the first 3 days, but hey, it's great. You should do it sometimes.
Incredible India, you know, what can I say? The trip was bigger than I thought, longer than I thought, harder than I thought. In a nutshell, I'm very tired. So, you know, at least another year before I do something like this again.
Experience of a lifetime, simple as that. There's nothing else I can say. Great bunch of lads from all walks of life. Just, you couldn't think you could get a bunch of nice guys in one place, and we do such a terrific adventure that I'll talk about for the rest of my life, certainly.
You know, you pull in here, a bunch of guys 2 weeks ago, you didn't know them. And I think you probably know them better now after 2 weeks of shared hardships than you know some people you may have known for 10 years. And that's what I suppose the challenge is all about. It brings small groups together. It creates its own frictions, but it also builds, I suppose, a deeper bond. And I think it'll be quite hard. And I was thinking, if my family asked me what it's like, I might find it very difficult to explain, because it's the kind of thing you can only explain to people who've done it. But magic, tough as hell. Beautiful scenery, not tough as in, you know, sort of run a marathon tough, just tough as in it just saps you. It's just, you know, too little sleep, technical riding, traffic getting in your way the whole time. Everything is stacked against you. And in the beginning you think the bikes are stacked against you because they're quite weak. And eventually you figure out how to use them, and then you just get on with things. It's been magic.
I don't know, it's the first one of the year, you know, I enjoy it. We've got 2 more to do, but yeah, it's good. Last 2 days are hard, even for me, you know, I find it tough going, you know, but the benefit I've got is I prepare myself mentally because I know what's coming, so yeah, I love it, you know, look around yourself, everybody's here, everybody's tired, they're hungry, they're frustrated, but yeah, great people, and you know, really take them out of their comfort zone. Yeah, they certainly have.
I got on the plane without much expectations. But as I got closer to the date, I realized, hang on a second, I might be in for a bit more than I'm expecting here. I thought it was maybe just a nice little easy cruise through the mountains, look at some beautiful sights, meet some locals, ha. Anything but. Ordeal is perhaps the wrong word, but it becomes a bit of a perseverance thing. I think we make the mistake of not stopping and observing enough, because you get, you know, a mixture. There's basically 3 kinds of riders. The guys up front, who everybody's trying to be quicker than the other one. The guys at the back who are just taking it easy and just sort of tootling along. And the guys in the middle that are a mixture of. And depending on the day and your mood, you end up in one of those sort of areas. But what you don't do often enough, I was going through my photos, is actually stop and look around. Because if you're on a technical trail and there's a precipice on this side and a gigantic diesel fuel smoke spewing monstrosity coming up trying to push you off the road, you actually got to focus on the damn road and the bike. And you don't look around often enough. But whenever you can, you look up and you look around and you go, my God. And then you hit a pothole and you knock your teeth against your pallet and you go, okay, I can't look around. I've actually got to make sure that I stay on this thing. So I didn't look enough. So I'll remember probably being tested. You know, depending on your age, you know, a lot of the guys are successful in their careers and they're quite good at what they do. So in your day job, you've got 20, 30 years experience, you're possibly at the top of your game, and it comes naturally. And suddenly everything that you're good at is forgotten, and now you've just got to get good at the basic stuff again, and you've got to relearn that. And I suppose that gives you a different perspective. I certainly hope that I won't take so many things for granted, because I live, by all standards, a fairly comfortable lifestyle, and I think I've gotten too used to some of the good things and realizing that just like this they can be taken away. You know, whatever thing may happen to you that changes your circumstances, and I look at people who really and truly are eking out an existence. They're living a massively tough life. I mean, we come in here like swallows, boom, in and out for summer, and we find it tough for 2 weeks. There are people that live that tough life every single day of their life, no respite. Gives you a bit of perspective. Seeing people make something of so little, and they're all smiling. You look at the little kids, you know, helping with the chores, cleaning up, washing in a little basin by the side of the road. You don't see grumpy people. They're all kind of sitting there laughing, and they live with so little, and it's quite humbling actually.
India has left me kind of in awe, the grandeur of the Himalayas, as I say it here, the niceness, the kindness of the people, their hearts, the sheer patience of the masses as they go about their day-to-day things. What have I taken away from this trip? I was just thinking yesterday, I will never look at a pothole and be disgruntled again. What I will take away patience, which is probably what a partially frustrated yuppie like myself is direly needing. So maybe that's what I'll be taking away more than anything else. And yesterday on my trips, I was so watching the men and perhaps women, you couldn't see underneath all that dust and grime, working on the roads, cracking the large rocks into smaller rocks, the smaller rocks into even smaller rocks, into gravel, filling the holes on the road like a mosaic, like someone who was laying tiles in my bathroom. And that has left me with I don't know, a different outlook on the way people go about things in our Western society as opposed to here. So, patience.
This started for me in 2007. I was coming up to 50. I wanted to do something a little different, celebrate my 50th. I love riding motorbikes. I always wanted to visit India, so I trawled the internet, came across Global Enduro or Enduro Himalaya, and I thought, yeah, I think that's what I want to do. It's a lot of money, but, you know, I think that's what I want to do. So I had a word with my wife, who immediately went ballistic. She will have nothing to do with bikes. And dropped it. And I thought, what am I going to do? Anyway, I said, OK, you want to come, you learn to ride a bike. She said, all right then. I said, well, I'll delay it a year. So I originally came in 2009, came with my wife. She learned to ride to come here specifically to do this trip. And when I finished, I thought, been there, done that, got that T-shirt, don't want to do that again. 2 months later, I came back and did the recce trip. Now, this was all 3 years ago, 2009 when I actually got here. And then I thought, over the last 2 or 3 years, I don't know, we didn't get to see Lake Somoriri, and I don't know, perhaps I felt it was unfinished business.
I think the physical demands. Some days, and certainly the last few days, I've had to dig really deep to keep going. Getting up at 5:30, it's been -5 in temperature. Coming out of a tent, you've got the same thermals on for probably a week. It really, you do have to dig deep, and there's I think you can find some simple excuses to say, I don't want to do this anymore. But it's this drive, this motivation, and also not letting the team down. You know, part of a team, it's led very well, the team leaders are really good, they look after you, but you're treated as an adult. So if you make mistakes, they're down to you. If you ride stupidly, that's down to you. Excuse me. They'll look after you, but you won't get a great deal of sympathy if you've been an idiot. Tremendous, absolutely fantastic. I worked for 35 years in the whole principles of a team. And occasionally you get a group or a watch, as they're called in the fire service, it just doesn't gel. Now, 1 or 2 individuals just irritate everybody else. Never seen a moment of that. Everybody's giving each other space, everyone's giving each other respect. And since we met at Heathrow probably 2 weeks ago, a little bit longer, it's been a really good team. And the strange thing is we've got nothing in common. Different backgrounds.
There's huge poverty, but I think there's huge chances for these people going forward. I mean, all the way through we've seen nothing but new house building. Even some of the smaller villages, there's new house building going on, and I think there's going to be a major change in the next 20, 30, 40 years. How that relates to us back home, it's hard to say. I think we're going to find things tough back home because of these people who are working hard to find their niche in life. As I said, it was very difficult for me because I'm not a main rider. It was very difficult. I enjoyed every bit of it. The guys, and by the guys I mean everyone, mechanics upwards and the riders, team leaders, fantastic. And we've had a really, really good fortnight. There's no getting away from that. I'm very, very surprised at the Himalayas. It's not what I expected. You know, the geographical structure of the mountains is. I've seen a few mountain ranges, the Rockies, the Himalayas, the Andes, and the Alps, of course, Pennines, you know, this sort of place, and they're all solid rock. Himalayas are on the move all the time, hence the roads. The roads are on the move. That's the thing that really, I think, I noticed more. I think the roads are, what a nightmare of a job to build roads.
Like on the first night, because everybody arrived in different modes of transport and on different planes, after the first day, everyone started to gel straight away. I was quite surprised that the group, albeit there's various fractions within the group, because that always happens, but on the whole, the group was the group and everyone looked out for each other. If people were stopped on the road, they made sure that they were just taking photographs rather than broken down. In the evenings or in the morning, everyone asked whether you were all right. You know, and I thought that was quite a big part of the trip, actually. As the trip goes on, it seems to have built up. So when you think that it's coming to an end, you should be like having rest days. It actually got harder, which to a degree I met the challenge, which I think at the end of when we all finished, that's why we were more elated that we'd actually, as a sense of achievement, was greater than it would have been if we had just like fizzled out.
So there we go, that brings to a close now our epic adventure in the Himalayas, and it truly has been an adventure. Right from the beginning, the riders have been pitched against some fantastic trails. 80% of this tour has been off-road. The grandeur of the Himalayas, you just cannot explain. Even when you see this footage, it's never going to do it justice. We've been driven across vast deserts, the mountain ranges. There is nowhere else on earth. This truly has been an adventure in the sky.